What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to Blazers Uprise Live. Today, we'll preview the game that the Blazers play later tonight. They go against maybe the worst team in the NBA right now, which is the Minnesota Timberwolves. They won't be playing with Karl Anthony Towns, so that is a weak roster that's even weaker. We'll see if the Blazers can turn things around, or we'll see if they drop a dud like they did last game against the Chicago Bulls. We also got picks against the spread. The first game today isn't until 4:30, so we are going live a little bit late. My apologies for that, but it won't mess with anything picks against the spread-wise. We only got 5 games for that, and we will jump into that in a second. How's it going, chat? Shout out to everybody tuning in. We will be live later tonight with the post-game show as normal. There's really nothing left to plug. We can get straight into it if you want. I just want to make sure all my mods are here. It looks like they are all here.
They're all accounted for.
Perfect. So let's jump into the very first game we got today out of 5. First off, let's look at the records. I need to create a separate sheet for this. But I am 13-8. Eric is 16-5. Reese is 6-15. Westbrook's, I need to go back and double check. I believe he is 7-14, but I'm not 100% positive, so I'll need to go double check that. Trevin is also 7-14. Chat is 14-7. So me, Eric, and Chat are above 500. The mods have gotten off to a little bit of a rough start. We'll see if they can pull things back here. Eric is 16-5. That is extremely good. So we're starting off with Philadelphia at 7-1 going against the Brooklyn Nets. This is a good game. This will be on TNT if you want to tune in. It is nationally televised. You got Ben Simmons versus Durant. You got Kyrie. You got Joel Embiid. All those guys are playing, right? Am I blanking on one of those? All those guys are injured a lot, it seems like.
Sherman said Kyrie's not playing. Durant's out for sure.
Okay, so you got Joel Embiid versus
as far as
Karis
I know,
LeVert.
Embiid and Simmons are playing.
You got Joel Embiid versus Karis LeVert. Okay, cool. I mean, in that case,
Sherman's is saying Kyrie is out for personal reasons.
I mean, in that case, this is an extremely easy pick, right?
Yeah.
This will be my double down pick then, because I was going to go with Philadelphia regardless. They've been playing great basketball. Brooklyn has kind of been struggling. It's only a 1.5 point spread. I got to go with Philadelphia here. I feel like this is probably going to be a clean sweep.
Yeah, I'm going Philly, and I'm probably going to make that my double down too. I agree.
Yeah. So let me pull up the chat on my phone.
Yeah, Durant got COVID, in case you didn't hear. He's out for at least a week.
Again? Didn't he get it before?
Or I don't know if he has COVID, but he was like a close contact and has to be isolated for 7 days.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to miss at least 4 games, including Monday's game.
Yeah, so chat has Philly, Reese going with the Sixers, Westbrook going with the Sixers, Trevin going with the Sixers. So it is indeed a clean sweep. No surprise there. Yeah, I mean, I was going to go with Philly and maybe double down on them if Durant and Kyrie were playing. So this is the easiest double down pick of the year. Watch them blow it, though. Yeah, that would be crazy. We'll see. So now, second game, you got Memphis playing in Memphis going up against the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'll let mods make their pick first for this one. Let me get that out of the way. Yeah, I will let the mods make their picks first. Trevin says Cavs. Reese says Cavs. I am also going to go with the Cavs. Cavs have been playing decent basketball. They've been playing better than the Grizzlies have been. The Grizzlies at 2-5, 5-point spread. I was pretty surprised to see such a high spread, especially with Cleveland playing. I mean, Cleveland isn't playing well from an NBA standpoint. You know, they're playing average, but average is good for Cleveland. 4-4 is a pretty good record for them. If they can hover around 500 this year, that would be a shock to pretty much everybody. So I'm also going with the Cavs.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Cavs too. So that leaves Westbrook on an island unless Chat agrees with him.
Unless Chat can back him up. Because you got what? You got Ja Morant out. You got Jaren Jackson Jr. out, right? Both those guys are out. Kyle Anderson's playing great, but, I mean, both those guys are out, and they're a 5-point spread against a team that's not playing all that bad. Yeah, I was really surprised at that one. Chat needs 2 more votes. If chat is done voting, then you can just base it off 13. Garland is out. You can just base it off 13. Westbrook, if it, like, dies down.
There
I assume
go.
this is
Got
pretty
2 more
close to
Cavs.
vote.
Yep. There's a bunch more Cavs. And just a reminder, don't vote twice if you've already voted.
Yes, sir. Don't make it hard on my guy Westbrook. Appreciate him counting everything for us.
Damian Muniz. Don't do
12-3 for the Cavs. Alrighty, let's move on to the third game. Hopefully this is more competitive and a tougher pick, because I feel like these first 2 were pretty easy for me. Third game, we got Dallas going up against the Denver Nuggets. I'll also let the mods pick first for this one. This is a 2.5-point spread. This game is being played in Denver. Neither of these teams have played too well. Of course, Kristaps Porzingis is still out. I don't know the injury situation on Denver's side. But, I mean, this is a tougher game. This is a tougher game because neither of these teams have played well. You're talking about a game being played in altitude. I'll let you go first, Eric. Who you picking?
Reese says Michael Porter Jr. is out, so that'll lead me to pick the Nuggets.
I am on board with that.
He was busy in Washington D.C. yesterday. Maybe.
I mean, they don't have much depth. That's the thing. So, and who are they gonna put on Luka? I mean, I guess Gary Harris, but honestly, I'm just gonna take the points. Actually, I'm gonna roll with the Mavericks. I'll take the points.
Okay.
I'm not like neither of these teams are playing well. So I'll just take the cushion.
Mateo heard my joke.
Reese is going Mavericks. Trevin is going Nuggets. Westbrook is going Nuggets. Or should I start calling him Bozo Stotts? You want me to start calling you Bozo Stotts? Westbrook? He says 9-6 for Denver. All right, so me and Reese are going Mavericks. Everybody else is going with the Nuggets. This fourth game you got is a rematch of... I don't think it was their last game. I think they played a couple games ago. But you got a rematch of a game that was actually pretty close between the Spurs and the Lakers. The Spurs have been a little bit more competitive than to be expected. And you got the Los Angeles Lakers, who are 6-2. 7-point spread here. I am going to go with the Los Angeles Lakers here.
Yeah, I think I'm also going to take the Lakers. They've been playing pretty well.
All right.
And 7's not a huge spread, but yeah, Spurs could keep it close. I think it's our first game picking with either of these teams.
Yeah, it is actually. Probably should have made the Spurs text black, but I hate working with like the Spurs color scheme and in graphics and whatnot. But yeah, so we got Trevin going Lakers as well. Nope, not the Spurs, the Lakers. We got Reese going Lakers, Westbrook going Lakers. Is this a clean Lakers sweep? And chat looks somewhat close. I mean, I say this all the time. I really wish YouTube would allow me to put a poll up. That would be a fun way to do it and an easy way to do it.
Spurs won.
Spurs 9-6. So chat is out on an island by themselves.
Yeah. Interesting.
Props. That's a first. I don't expect that to happen too much, but chat is going with the Spurs. Very possible that this game is close. So
they could gain a game on me there.
Yeah. Westbrook also after this, like I don't know if you know your record, but I know yours might be like a game off. Just let me know if that's correct or not. Last game we got our Portland Trailblazers. I don't know why the Heat logo is there. Let's just get rid of that. We got the Portland Trailblazers going up against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Obviously, I didn't change the records for this because obviously the Timberwolves aren't 7-1. The Timberwolves are terrible, but it's a 10-point spread. Yeah, I know NBA Forever. Obviously, the Wolves aren't 7-1. I don't even know where that record came from, but I don't know, man. What are you going with, Eric? Because
this, I cannot believe the Blazers are favored against any team by 10 points right now. But call me crazy and Homer. I'm gonna take the Blazers. Screw it. I think they're gonna actually play well tonight. They're gonna come out focused. We'll talk about that more later, but I'd be surprised if this was a close game tonight.
Trevor says, wait, didn't see the spread. Yeah, that's the important part of it, man. I mean, I don't have confidence in the Blazers beating a team by double digits. I have no confidence in that whatsoever. I mean, D'Angelo Russell's going to score like 35. Anthony Edwards is going to score like 25. Jake Layman's going to have his revenge game and score 20. Does that get him within 10? So chat's going Blazers. I'll make my pick last. Chat's going Blazers. Trevin's going Blazers.
Westbrook is Minnesota.
Westbrook is Minnesota. I mean, I'm picking Blazers just because Stotts called out their effort, so I think they'll actually try tonight. So I will go Blazers, but I'm not comfortable with this pick whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
now we need a vote on the chat's double down between the 76ers over the Nets or the Cavs over the Grizzlies. Both of them were 12-3, so the first 15 votes, so that will be the double down.
Yep, so type 76ers or Cavs in the chat. Westbrook says he's doubling down on the Sixers. So give us your double downs, Reese and Trevin. I'm doubling down on the 76ers as well. I think that's the easiest. That might be the easiest double down of the year. I don't know why that spread was so low.
Might have been just like a recent thing that Kyrie was out.
Are we all going to be doubling down on the Sixers? You got, okay, 2 Cavs, 4 Cavs, 1 Sixers.
Nope, it's still 1.5. It's weird. Reese said, I think Embiid might not be playing, which might be the reason why.
Yeah, it looks like chat is going with Sixers. Let me know if I counted that right. Westbrook, Reese going with Sixers. I'm going with Sixers. You're going with Sixers.
All right.
Trevin's going with Sixers, and then we just need Westbrook's double down.
He said Sixers.
He said Sixers as well. All right, so that game is not going to change anything. It's just either going to make our records look nicer or make us look like a little bit more like we don't know what we're talking about. Either way, I'm comfortable with where I'm at right now. I know one of these mods is going to catch up, at least one of them, I think. But chat's looking solid. Chat's in second. I mean, at some point we'll get like a little bit more separation. It'll be interesting to see. But you started off hot last year, and you're starting off hot this year. I ended hot last year, so if I can keep pace.
I mean, I was hot last year, but I'm like blazing right now.
Yeah, you're gonna go like 0-7 today, 0-6 today. Watch, you jinxed it. Even if you went 0-6 today, you'd still be 16-11. So
anything above 500 is good. So chat and you are doing well. So.
Should be putting money down on this, man. If I'm gonna be above 500, I might as well make money off this, right? Like. Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know if I can bet on games in Washington yet. I don't know what the sports betting scene is here, but I know they've been behind Oregon, so.
Just got to drive across the border real quick.
Yeah. I don't want to do that.
Get that geofence locked in.
Nah, not worth it. Anyway, that is picks against the spread. Thank you to everybody who participated. The Blazers, as we said, they're going up against the Timberwolves later tonight. I mean, they're not going to lose this game, right?
Certainly
You're talking about a Timberwolves team playing without Karl Anthony Towns. Their best player tonight, hypothetically, is D'Angelo Russell, but he's not playing well. He's not playing well whatsoever. I want to bring up the Timberwolves player stats here, and just kind of run through this.
Before you get to that, so without Cat, on top of that, they are last in offensive rating and last in defensive rating. So our defense has no excuse and our offense has no excuse because they can't stop anyone and they can't score. So there's no reason why you should see any struggles on either end of the floor tonight. But that's why, like, I don't know. I don't think Stotts will get fired if we lose this game, but like this will definitely brighten that magnifying glass a ton more if we don't play well tonight.
Yeah. Actually, D'Angelo Russell has been playing a little bit better lately. His stats look a little bit better than they did a couple games ago. He is averaging 19 points per game, 5.5 assists, shooting 43.5% from the field and 40.4% from three. He's not that good of a three-point shooter. I'm looking at this. It says he's played 7 games but only started 6. Did they bring him off the bench for one? Or
I don't know.
I wonder what they must have. Apparently they brought him off the bench for one of these games this season. They've started numerous guys. They've started, let me see, 1, 2, 3. They've started 10 guys at least 2 games. All right. That includes D'Angelo Russell, Karl Anthony Towns, Malik Beasley, Naz Reid, Jarrett Culver, Josh Okogie, Ricky Rubio, Juan Hernangomez, Jake Layman, and Ed Davis. So a couple former Blazers there. The only guy to start all 7 games for them is Malik Beasley.
Reese says he was late to COVID testing before the game, and so they benched him. Or brought him off the bench instead, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Appreciate the insight, Reese, as always. So, yeah, you got D'Angelo Russell getting 19 a game. Malik Beasley is closely behind him, getting 18.4 points per game, but Beasley is not shooting the ball all that well. He is shooting 56% inside the arc, but he's shooting 29% inside the arc. His field goal percentage is 46. I mean, if there's ever a game for him to get hot, I know there's a game where he's crushed us in the past. If there was ever a game for him to get his 3-point shot on, it would be this game. I mean, you got a potent backcourt there with D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley. If the Blazers don't defend that backcourt well, I could see them keeping this Minnesota team in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then you bring Anthony Edwards off the bench, who also isn't efficient. He's averaging 14 a game for them, the first overall pick from this past year's draft. But he's only shooting 40% from the field, 29% from three. So, I mean, they don't have good 3-point shooters. They're not a good shooting team. I mean, you just look at their 3-point percentage. You got D'Angelo Russell shooting 40%. He's not that good. Beasley shooting 29%. Anthony Edwards shooting 29%. Naz Reid has been starting in place of Karl Anthony Towns and actually been doing a decent job. He's averaging 10 points per game, shooting 53% from the field and 33% from three. So he's actually done a solid job on the offensive end. Defensively, he's not a good defender whatsoever. I know he's a player that probably not a lot of people know. Jarrett Culver is shooting 24% from three. Josh Okogie is shooting 17% from three.
He's out tonight.
Is he?
Okogie's
Okay.
out tonight too, yeah.
Okogie is out. Yeah, he's only played 3 games. Ricky Rubio is only shooting 29% from three. Juan Hernangomez is shooting 30%. Jake Layman is shooting 20%. Jordan McLaughlin is shooting 28%. Jaden McDaniels I think he's only shot a couple threes. So yeah, I mean, you're talking about a terrible 3-point shooting team. I mean, like run and drop scheme against pretty much all these guys should be fine. I could see Malik Beasley getting going off of it, but if there's ever a team to run drop scheme against, it might be this one.
Yeah, the only thing I'll say to that is, they're probably not used to getting wide open threes. So if we're giving them wide open threes, they're all NBA players, and if they start hitting, if you see them shoot over 40% from three in this game, I mean that's an absolute discredit to our defense because I mean that just shows you that we can't even stop a horrible shooting 3-point team. We don't even know
Yeah.
how to defend them, right? So yeah. Look for that 3-point percentage to be a key to this game. If they're shooting well, we might struggle to win this game. If they aren't shooting well and are like their normal style, then we should blow them out easily.
I don't want to have to worry about this game,
Yeah.
man. Like, I
Well, I
don't
mean, we're
know.
up 20 in the first half of the Chicago game. Like, I don't know.
I mean, and I was a little bit worried about Chicago. I was feeling like this team is not a team we can take lightly. Like,
Yeah.
this team is not Timberwolves bad. They still have some players, and yeah, I mean, if the Blazers lost this game, the Heat for Terry Stotts would be at. I mean, I already think the Heat for Terry Stotts is at an all-time high at this point. But I don't even care what happens. You cannot excuse us losing this game. Like, we are so much more talented than them. Like, you just have so much more talent than them. That if we lost this game, there's going to be even more calls for Terry Stotts to lose his job. And if you can't prepare a team with this much talent against this hapless Minnesota team, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, man. Because we don't even have to get complicated with the breakdown. This team this Timberwolves team is just straight garbage. I mean, hopefully it's a game where like Dame can, hit some threes and get his 3-point shot a little bit more dialed in. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just looking at. I'm
Get
looking
Nurt
at.
going because they don't really have a lot of
Yeah,
size. So
yeah. That would be a great thing to do. I'm looking at some of the Blazer stats right now. I haven't really paid attention. You got CJ still averaging 28 a game and 5 assists, which is insane. Carmelo's efficiency is kind of funny. He's shooting 40% from the field and 48% from three. He's shooting 35% inside the arc. That's horrible.
yeah.
48% from three is great. I just
Yeah.
want him shooting threes.
Yep.
I mean,
Their point line.
I put out a tweet about how much worse we are with Carmelo Anthony on the court on off splits, and I had a bunch of Melo fans coming at me yesterday. That was entertaining. That was fun. But it's something like let me find it. Our assist percentage goes down 21% with Carmelo Anthony on the court. So the percentage of possessions we get assists on go down 21%. That's huge. That is a huge difference. Our offensive rating is 12 points worse with Carmelo on the court. 12 points worse. Our defensive rating is 5 point worse with him on the court. Our net rating, we are 17 points worse per 100 possessions with Carmelo Anthony on the court compared to without him on the court. Okay? Even our rebounding percentage goes down 5% with him on the court. So, I mean, we are obviously a far worse team with Carmelo on the court. You could say, oh, well, it's the Carmelo Cantor pairing, but the thing is Cantor's numbers aren't quite this bad. So that's the thing, is like, obviously there's noise and context you have to provide with this, but we haven't been a good team when Carmelo Anthony is on the floor, and it's getting to the point where like he gets subbed in the game, and I'm just like, great, Carmelo's in. And if he's just shooting threes and knocking down threes, and he played decent defense last game, if he plays like he does last game, like, I'm kind of fine with that. I hate the Melo Cantor pairing, and I don't know how Terry Stotts doesn't hate it, but of course Terry Stotts doesn't care about defense, right? So, I mean, it doesn't really surprise me, but I don't know, man. I've just like soured on Melo even more, man, and I know all the Melo lovers hate that, but I don't know, man. This is why I wasn't really excited to resign him. What do you think about like those stats and just kind of his role on the team and all that?
I'd be interested to see what those same stats were over the whole course of last year. I don't know if the site that you got those from has those from last year available. But I mean, none of our on-off stats were great last year, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say other than I hate the offense we're running. I've hated it for years. When everyone praises it or just looks at the final numbers of the offense, and don't realize how insanely difficult we make Dame and CJ and Melo have to make shots in order for that offense to be successful. And I just wish we had a coach that would look at those stats and say, like, you know what, I need to find a way to get him easier baskets, or and that goes for pretty much everyone, or think about switching the lineups he's being used in to maybe make sure he's as effective as possible.
Yep. Last year, the team was 3 points better with Carmelo on the court. Of course, here's the context part of it. He did get the privilege of playing with the starters, and his backup for most of the season was Mario Hezonja. So, and it's not hard to outplay that. It's just kind of wild. The season before for Houston was 18 points worse when he was on the court. And, of course, they cut him 10 games in. For us, he's 17 points worse. Our team is 17 points worse when he's on the court. If that is the case at midseason, and it's like, we're talking about, like, the rest of the team hasn't even played well, and we're still 17 points worse with him on the court. Obviously, it would help if he was paired with, like, a Harry Giles or a Yusuf Nurkic, a center that could help him out defensively, but our offensive rating being 12 points worse, too. Like, our offense is far worse with him on the court. And he shot the 3 ball at a rate that he's probably not going to sustain. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, this is kind of just like just a random tangent I'm on here, but I have not been happy when he comes into games. I haven't been happy with this, just the way he's used is honestly a big part of it. It might not even be his fault. You might not even blame him for that. It's just the bench has been underachieving mightily, and we talked about, man, oh, it'd be so nice. Dame gets out of the game, bench comes in and have just as much confidence, right? And it's not that way at all. It's the starters go out of the game, bench comes in. It's like, okay, well, thank goodness we have a 7-point lead. Now, hopefully, it's only tied when the starters come back in. That's how I feel.
Yeah, but I mean, the starters haven't played particularly well either, so I can't necessarily blame just the bench. But it's just all ISO. Like, we post up Cantor sometimes, we post up Melo sometimes, we let CJ do his thing, and there's very little structure or anything like that. And if you're gonna play that way, at least run, man. Like, get out and get some fast breaks and get some easy baskets that way. But like, we slow it up and then do that. So like, if your offense is struggling and inefficient, it doesn't make sense to slow it down even more and like not play at a pace that can like be conducive to like scoring more. So like, it makes no sense, and that like nothing Terry has done makes sense to me, and I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it's honestly interesting to look at some of these on-off splits. Who do you think leads the team in terms of like how many points were better with them on the court compared to without? You can let me know in chat as well.
Out of all the players,
yes.
This year it might be CJ.
Yeah, we're 15 points better with CJ McCollum on the court than when he's off the court.
Yeah.
The second player has only played 31 minutes, but we're 13 points better per 100 possessions when Harry Giles is on the floor. Yeah. Next is actually probably going to be a bit of a surprise. Who do you think is third?
Probably Nurkic?
Nope.
Cantor?
Nope. Malcolm Bunyoli has it right. Third is Derek Jones Jr. We are 9.4 points per 100 possessions better when he's on the court than when he's not.
I was out thinking it since you made it seem like it was.
Yeah. Yeah. Rocco is next. Rocco is fourth. I mean, Blevins and Ellaby are fourth and fifth, but they don't count. We're 4 points better with Rocco on the court. We're 4 points better with Nurkic on the court compared to Cantor, basically. So everybody talking about, I mean, Nurkic plays for the starters. He gets that privilege, so maybe that's the difference. But I thought that was interesting. We are only 1 point better with Damian Lillard on the court than without him on the court. which is a big surprise. I don't expect that to remain that way. Last year, out of curiosity, let me find it. Last year we were 9 points better with him on the floor. The year before we were 14.5 points better with him on the floor. So like his on off splits are probably going to be better than that. We are 2.5 points worse with Gary Trent Jr. on the floor. We are 3 points worse with Rodney Hood on the floor. We are 5 points worse with Enes Kanter on the floor, so it's not close to Carmelo's. We are 16 points worse with Anthony Simons on the floor, and then we are 17.4 points worse with Carmelo Anthony on the floor. Those are our on-off splits.
To be fair, to all four of those guys, they all play with each other primarily.
Yeah, I mean, but you talk about the Kanter and Carmelo pairing. I don't know, man. Like,
I mean, we talked about that. I don't get why you would continually to go back to that pairing or not try to split them up or like play them different stints or mix in a Harry Giles to see if you can get one of the two going or something. I don't know. There's so many things you could do, but it doesn't make sense to me that you would just keep. Oh, here it is. 6 minutes in the first quarter. Here comes Melo and Kanter into the game. You know what I mean?
I hate it, dude. I hate it.
But like, why does Melo play more than like 5 or 6 minute stretches? Like, why did the first half of the last game he played 16 straight minutes? Like,
I don't know.
I don't understand
Are we supposed
why.
To limit his minutes.
Yeah, like keep him fresh, man. Like, I don't know. He shouldn't be playing anywhere close to like mid-20s or above in minutes, and that's not a knock on him. I just think he would be much more effective if he just came in spurts and wasn't like having to play a long time in a row because he's 36 years old.
Yeah,
like give him a little bit of a break.
I thought he was going to get 18 to 20 minutes per game. Right now, he is getting 25 minutes per game. Mm-hmm. He turns 37 end of May, so he's closer to 37 than he is to 36. So he's going to be 37 before, like, the end of the season. Maybe around when playoff starts, or in the first round. He's going to turn 37 years old, man. I mean, I don't know. Just everything that I was worried about has kind of come to fruition in regards to this. The only thing that I was worried about that hasn't come to fruition is he has shot the 3-ball really well, but I don't expect him to shoot 48% for the season. I mean, even with him shooting 48% from 3, his true shooting percentage, I mean, it is 59%, but our offense is far worse with him on the court. Just statistically, our offense is far worse with him on the court, despite him being that efficient. Which 59, that would be a career high in terms of true shooting percentage if he kept this up. Last year's true shooting percentage was 52.5. The year before was 51. The year before was 50. Average is like 54.5, 55%. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I hope he continues to shoot well. I hope he continues to hunt better shots. There's no reason he should only be shooting 35% inside the arc. That is really not good whatsoever. And that just kind of goes back to, don't hunt those mid-range shots. You don't have to post up Melo all the damn time. Like, you can use him off ball. You can use him as a spot-up guy.
Well, see, the problem is with this kind of happened when Collins ended up being out for longer because I mean we'd be talking about him possibly being back in a week or so. So like Melo and Rocco are, I mean Melo's not an undersized 4 anymore, but like at the beginning of his career he was kind of playing out of position when he was at the 4, and Rocco can definitely play the 4. It's not like he's completely undersized, but I don't know if that's necessarily his best position. So like you have like the depth issues where you gotta have to play those guys at power forward, and I would like to see some lineups while it still matters where you maybe pair Giles with the Nurkic or something instead of always having to have the same 4 and 5 in there with each other even. Yeah, I mean, I said this Zach's second and third years too. I was like, please play Nurkic and Collins together some minutes. Like, what are you doing, Terry? Like, you'd see it for like a couple minutes and it would be great. And then you wouldn't see it for like 10 games in a row. And it's like, why have you not gone back to that at all? Like, I don't understand, especially these times where we struggle to get defensive rebounds. I'd like to see maybe a little bigger lineup at times. And there's times where you should have a smaller lineup as well, kind of mix it up a little bit. But yeah, I just don't understand like set rotations and all that stuff. We talk about that all the time. Like, don't do the same thing every game, especially if it's not working so far. We're 3-4. Like, switch up your rotations. Like, don't just keep the same rotation when it's not working. If we were like 5-2 and everything was going fine, then yeah, maybe you can get away with having some less than ideal lineups because you're kind of forced into some minutes for some people. But like when it's not going well, like there's no reason why you can't switch it up. And this has been our problem once again for years with Stotts, is his refusal to change things that aren't working.
Yep. Yeah, 100% agree. That pairing is just drives me crazy. And you've had a lot of national people call out that pairing too. Like,
Yeah,
Stotts needs to figure out a way to play these guys together less, and we've been saying that for pretty much all season.
it's not his fault though, remember.
Yeah, my goodness. This is the first time I've dived into stats this year. I want to look at like the league leaders for points.
Tori's distracted.
This is the first time I've dove into stats. It's kind of interesting to see like true shooting percentage. Believe it or not, with like how inefficient Dame has been, his true shooting percentage is still 59%, which is efficient. Like, Dame has still been efficient. He's gotten to the line at a solid rate. That helps for sure. But yeah, CJ's fourth in the league in scoring right now. First is Bradley Beal, averaging 34 points per game. He just dropped 60 yesterday. Then you have Steph at 29.6. You have James Harden at 29.4. Then you got CJ at 27.7. Jaylen Brown's averaging 26 a game. Dame is still ninth, despite not playing great. Trae Young is 10th. I almost said Thaddeus Young is 10th with 26 a game. Oh, if only, man.
If he played us every game, maybe.
Oh, I know. So, yeah, I mean, at this point in the season, and just like with some of these games coming up, it's the talking points around the team are pretty much set in stone already, which I feel like normally isn't the case 7 games in. You know what I mean? But like, especially with new guys too, it's like usually it takes 20 games to kind of get a really good feel for this team. I already feel like I have a perfect feel for this team. This team is not going to play versatile defense. They're not going to switch up defensive schemes, and they're not going to move the ball. Like, and it sucks because when they do that, they're good, and they'll have flashes of it. Like, that is how I feel about this team. They'll have flashes of, they'll run drop scheme or show a little bit higher, but not really like attack at the point of the screen. I don't know. Like, I just feel like this is the team we're going to see pretty much throughout the entire year.
See, I'm thinking at some point we see it start to change a little bit, but that's going to make me even more mad that we didn't like start off the year trying those things and at this point be more comfortable with them, right? Yeah. I mean, I would like if we did start switching it up because, I mean, we're going to struggle to make the playoffs if this is our actual team and how we play the entire season. And the only good thing about that, I guess, is we keep our draft pick if we don't make the playoffs. But, I mean, if we don't make the playoffs this year, that's just absolutely ridiculous. This is at the very least, the most loaded roster Dame has had since Aldridge left. You can argue it might even be better than that team. I don't know. Starters, definitely not, probably, but overall depth and stuff, it's definitely deeper team than that team. So, like, there's no reason why we can't rekindle some of that magic of getting the 3rd seed and stuff, and why it should be so difficult to even win games at this point.
Yep. I mean, I don't know, man. It's like there's not even really much to say because it's like after last season, all our talking points, it's like so many of them still apply, and so many of them we said we were worried about before the season started, and then so many of them obviously still exist. Like, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough to cover this team and not sound like a broken record.
Yeah, that's for
You
sure.
know, and I try and keep it fresh and keep it new and keep it but also, keep it real, not just sound like a broken record, but it's so hard not to sound like a broken record with a lot of these issues. So it's almost like I just like want to just watch them play 10 games in a row and then like have maybe new opinions then.
Here's my problem. Like most years, I'm like, okay, we can maybe make this trade at the deadline, get better, do this. None of that stuff will matter. It won't matter as long as Terry Stotts is our coach. Like it's frustrating to me because I love that kind of thing. Like normally at this time of year, I'm like, okay, we're 4 weeks away from players that signed in the offseason, away from being traded. Once that date happens, trades become a lot more easier. And like, I wonder what's going to open up then, like who's going to be available, what contracts we can combine to get. Like, I mean, you see this, we brought in 2 defensive specialists and our defense still sucks. Like, it doesn't matter who we
What
trade
are we
for.
ranked right now?
We're 29th.
Defensively. We got worse. We went from 28th to 29th.
Yeah.
Somehow we got worse. We were only above 2 teams, and we still got worse. With
The only
defensive
team worse
upgrades.
is the team we're playing tonight, and they played half their games without Cat, I think. So,
So how many points do you think the Timberwolves scored tonight against our defense?
I think this is gonna be a pretty high scoring game. So, but they suck on offense too. So I don't know, like 110 probably. Yeah.
I'd say 108. I think the final score is going to be 120 to 108. That's my prediction. I would like to see them hold a team under 100, but I could see them scoring 115 and us having to really go off. That's the thing. I don't want this game to come down to us having to like go off from 3 in order to win it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We definitely could. They're a terrible defense, and we got shooters, but I don't want it to have to come down to that. I want to win this game with our defense. Like, lock this team down, you'll win. All right, you keep this team under 100, you'll win. Because I don't see any way that they'll keep us under 100 with our offensive talent. Like, so that's the thing. You don't even have to focus too much on the offense in this game. I feel like you just play good defense, you play solid defense, and maybe make if you need to make an adjustment, make an adjustment. Hold them onto 100, you win this game. But I feel like there's a chance that they kind of, get going against our defense with how bad it is, and we have to hit threes in order to win. That's exactly what happened in the Bulls game, and we didn't hit threes down the stretch. Granted, we settled for 3 after 3 after 3. I think like 10 possessions in a row we shot a 3 and made 2 of them or something. I don't know. It was kind of frustrating. Like, I was screaming, attack their interior. You don't have to settle for a 3 every time down, especially when you're not hitting them. So I don't buy nothing we can do. We just miss shots. Like, no, you can attack. But, that game came down to us having to make threes in order to put away the Bulls, and we didn't make threes and we lost. So I don't want this game to be a carbon copy.
Do you know 13 out of our last 15 shots were threes?
13 out of the last 15? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's disgusting to me, man.
I know.
Like I'm not some old head who's like, man, the 3-point line and the 3-point volume has ruined the game or anything like that, but 13 out of 15 shots are from 3 and nobody has it going and everybody's cold from 3 and you still shoot 13 of your 15 shots, and then after the game you have the coach saying that he loves the shots that they got. It's just gross to me, man. Like, you attack the damn rim. Run a play to get Derrick Jones Jr. a lob or something. Like, come on. Have more in the bag. If you're an offensive genius, I would think, we missed a couple threes. All right, let me run this genius play I have, and maybe it can get us a layup. That's the best shot in basketball is a layup. Or, attacking the rim, getting fouled, and getting sent to the free throw line with a good free throw shooter. Like, either one of those is a really good result. And either one of those is what you should be doing if you're missing a bunch of threes.
Yep, absolutely.
So, I mean, it's just common sense.
I have trouble with, I know we touched on this a lot, but the fact that he said they played good or great in the first half, it's like, dude, you're not playing good or great. Like you hit a bunch of threes early in the game. I think they were like 7 of 9 or something at one point from three. And yeah, that's good basketball if you're hitting threes, but like I don't know how you can watch a game and say like they're doing good or great at anything right now. Like, and they shouldn't be saying that kind of stuff. It just seems like complacency to me. Like, oh, see, we were fine. Like, we showed what we were capable in the first half. Like, well, what about the second quarter when you got outscored 24-15? Well, I wasn't counting that part, but the rest of the rest of the first half was fine. So like, only the first quarter then. Like, it
And
just
it's because you like were shooting the ball really, really well.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I don't know, like, bro. Here's the thing: when you're playing against an inferior team, the more you settle for threes, the more of a chance you give them because threes are more variable,
Yep.
right? Threes are more variable. Now, if you have like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, you're probably going to be fine selling
Yeah.
for threes. Guys shooting 44, 45%, whatever. You know what I mean? But, Dame and CJ aren't as good of shooters as those guys, right? So the more threes you settle for, the better chance you give them because there's a chance you miss a bunch of threes and miss a bunch of shots and don't have good offense because of it. And you're talking about, long rebounds that can spark runouts and stuff like and get them quick buckets. I mean, there was multiple times where they kind of pushed the pace off a long rebound because we were shooting threes and got buckets because of it. I mean, the 3-point shot is like the biggest wild card in basketball because you can have a really good shooting team easily be outshot by a poor shooting team.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Especially in the NBA. So if that's what you make the game about, you have the greatest chance of being upset by a far inferior team. If you guard the 3-point line, make them drive, and then protect the rim decently, they're probably not going to have a great offensive game, if they're not a good team. And then if you attack the rim, if you don't just settle for threes, and then, okay, if you're making threes, maybe you take good threes with guys that, have it going and take open threes, but don't settle for every possession down and mix that in with attacking the rim and getting good action, you're probably going to win. But that's kind of the problem I have with the way Stotts portrayed last game was, I loved our shots. They got their last 50 shots, 13 were threes. I think they made 2. That's the variable. That's the variability that I'm talking about right there.
Yep.
So,
It's frustrating.
what?
Just the type of shots he thinks that are good shots.
Yeah.
When I mean, it's all created by how good our guards are at creating shots, and yes, that's fine to rely on that. Like even if it was like the last few possessions, it's fine to do some like ISO stuff. That's what most teams do. I don't understand over the course of a game like only getting those type of shots and then like how many times are you going to say, oh, we just missed shots or the other team just made shots or whatever, like before you realize that, well, maybe you should take different shots, right?
Yeah,
like,
if you're not making your shots, take different shots.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know, man. It seems like common sense to me, but that's just the way it's portrayed, man. I mean, Stoss loves that excuse, man. We just missed shots, they made shots, like we just didn't score enough points, they scored enough points. Like, there's such an oversimplified like way of looking at the game that I hate that answer from an NBA head coach.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, what's our offense is ranked 11th though. Like, you can't really blame the offense for our issues this year. Our offense needs to be better. Everybody was like, "Oh, well, our offense isn't any worse last year when we were third last year, so we'll automatically be third or better." And it's like, no, it's variable year to year. It's not. It's going to be hard for Dame to repeat what he did last year because he was insane last year, averaging 30 and 8, shooting 40% from 3, and some of the runs he had. So, like I was saying, like, we aren't guaranteed to be top 5 on offense. I mean, you look at this roster, we should definitely be top 10 and we're 11, so I guess you can blame some of that, but no way should we be 29th defensively. This is not a 29th ranked defensive roster. This is at least an average roster in terms of defensive personnel. in my
Yeah,
opinion.
but
And maybe slight. Like with Nurkic playing the way he is, it doesn't really help. But I think like his defensive issues have kind of been overblown a little bit. I mean, you have some decent defenders. If you would play Giles instead of Cantor, you'd have definitely an average defensive personnel, I'd say. But no reason we should be bottom five.
yeah, like 15 at worst, I think. I don't know. I mean, maybe you could say small sample size, but I don't even like this. Like, they're not trying anything new is the problem. They're not. And then he's like, oh, we'll break down film. You can watch all the times I blitzed him or whatever. It's like, well, Dwight posted the footage and showed you that you didn't do anything really to stop Curry, so don't try to act like you did.
Yeah.
It's just so frustrating. I had a couple tweets today that just going off.
I mean, yeah, I don't even want to talk about this team anymore right now.
Yeah.
I do. I don't.
Well, I mean,
man.
we talked about this, but like honestly, I tweeted this today. I've seen better defensive schemes and systems and execution out of rec league teams in the Hillsborough Rec League than I have with Terry Stotts. And those teams do not practice. They don't have a head coach. They don't like play together that much. It's like once or twice a week, you know. It's like how can they run like a trapping 1-3-1 zone and execute it perfectly and take out like the other team's best player, but like an NBA team and an NBA coach can't even find a way to like come up with like a decent trap like once in a game, you know? Like I don't understand. I don't get it.
I mean, bro, if we're talking about rec leagues, our off-ball movement and our ball movement on my rec league team, man, was better than this NBA team, man. Like, I don't know, it's not hard. It's basic basketball. Literally, like, I mean, we're just kind of trolling the basketball the team plays, but it's just bro. Like, a lot of these things are so basic, and I feel like a lot of people, if they haven't played the game, they don't realize how basic some of these things are to do. Like defensive rotations, it's a basic staple of basketball. If you've played high school basketball, you should know how to rotate on a weak side, you know, and position yourself and whatnot. If
the
if you
overhelping and the falling asleep off ball should be corrected by the coach via film study and you know, repetition and stuff like that. But it's the same guys who've been here for 7-8 years that are having the same problems they've had since they were a rookie, and I don't get it.
Yeah, man, this team just. I wanted this. I didn't want a 3-4 record, man. I mean, I was hoping for 5-2, honestly.
The only reason why I'm not like in full out panic mode right now is because, like, last year and the years before, I had no faith that if we got off to a bad start, that anything would change, coaching staff wise. But based on Olshey's comments, I don't think you can make those comments heading into a season and then put up with a coach that fails to deliver on any of those adjustments or scheme things, or that changes anything to cater his style to the upgraded personnel. Like, if he does none of those things, Olshey's got to be like thinking, dude, I brought in 2 of the best wing defenders in the NBA and you still can't freaking coach better than 29th rated defense. Like, so that's the only thing. I don't want to waste the season, so I'm not like rooting for them to lose. Like, I still want them to win games despite Terry or whatever. But like,
some fans genuinely want them to lose just to see things get blown up because of it.
I just don't think they would get blown up until it was like too late to salvage the season. So there's really no point in that. I mean, it would be good long term maybe, but I mean, this is one of the best chances Dame has to win. So like, I just don't understand wasting it for too long. But like, mid-season, it's kind of hard to bring in someone that could help this year too. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So Allison asks, is Hood still questionable or out? I'm not sure. Do you have anything on that? Actually, our insider Reese, what's the scoop on Rodney Hood?
Last I heard, he was questionable, and I think they have until an hour before the game, so 6 o'clock before announced that. I haven't seen anything official either way, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Yep. Yep, 100% agree. So, I mean, we're probably going to wrap up this stream. We'll talk more about the team tonight. And there's
Yeah.
honestly not a whole lot to talk about. There's not even like really any NBA rumors or legitimate NBA news to
Oh,
talk
so
about.
someone was talking a lot or asking a lot earlier about the Draymond Green stuff. I don't know if you saw that. Um,
I don't even believe it.
yeah.
Honestly, I don't know. I
Well,
mean,
okay, so here's the deal. I'm sure Dame would love to play with Draymond Green. I'm sure he'd love to get Anthony Davis to Portland. I'm sure he'd love to get like Bradley Beal. I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of players he would like to play with. That doesn't necessarily mean the Blazers are trying to actively trade for them, or that Golden State is even interested in trading him. So yeah, I don't think there's any chance really of that happening.
how much how much does he get paid?
I think it's around 25 million because he just signed a 4-year, 100 million extension
Yeah, so like
before
what? We're
last
gonna
season.
trade we're gonna trade Zach Collins and then two of Derek Jones, Robert Covington, Rodney Hood for Draymond Green, and then we still probably couldn't stay out of tax. Like, I don't see how it would work even if we were interested,
Yeah,
because we'd want to stay out of the tax, so it makes things tough. And yeah, that trade is just too much value for Draymond Green. He has not been noticeably good. And here's the thing: if we brought in Draymond Green, don't think that all of a sudden we'd run things like the Warriors.
yep.
We would have a good passing center and a really good passing four, and I guarantee you we would not look like the Golden State Warriors. I guarantee you our ball movement would still be below average. I guarantee you Draymond Green on a lot of possessions would get used kind of like Evan Turner was used, and he'd just be stuck in the corner shooting spot up threes, which is not his strength. His
Nope.
3-point shot has kind of cratered. So yeah, I don't want Draymond Green unless there's a coaching change.
Yep. And I mean, getting smart defenders, he's one of the best help defenders in the NBA, like Robert
Mm-hmm.
Covington is. So, like, I mean, if you combine those guys, it would naturally improve our defense a little bit. But um, if you have one guy continually breaking down on the backside of the defense, it won't matter how good the other defenders are. So, like, until this team is taught properly, and I mean, he might be a type of guy who would scream at people who made mistakes and stuff. Maybe that's the motivation they need, but I can't see a lot of people being too happy with a guy like that coming in and just like instantly yelling at them and stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I've always kind of liked Green as a player, especially defensively, um, and I like the way he can handle the offense. But we don't, like you said, we don't utilize that with the players we already have. So what would bring in a player like that? I'm just so down on making moves because I don't think it matters.
Yep. You had the Knicks re-signing Taj Gibson and waiving Amari Spellman about an
Mhm.
hour and a half ago, which is surprising because Amari Spellman is a solid young big. I don't understand why in the world the Knicks did that. I don't think Gibson is really much better than Spellman. Spellman had not appeared in a game this season. I don't know if he's been hurt or what, but
It's Tibbs. Tibbs
oh
loves
yeah,
himself some.
Tibbs and his bull guys.
Yep.
Um, so you got Lonzo versus LaMelo playing tomorrow, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah, tomorrow you got Lonzo versus LaMelo. That'll be interesting. You got Kawhi saying he's ready for more back-to-backs. Cool. Like, I'm just looking at the headlines here on ESPN. There's really not not much to talk about here. Um, yeah, so anyway, that's probably going to wrap up the stream. We will have the recap of the Blazers game. We'll also talk about the other four scores and look at kind of how we did picks against the spread. Why, speaking of picks against the spread, Brooklyn is playing without Kyrie and KD. They're going up against Philadelphia, who has Joel Embiid and has Ben Simmons, and Brooklyn is up 24-17. So, yeah, I kind of wish I went against the grain and could have maybe gained, like, gained a game and a half.
When that game's over, you're not going to say that.
Yeah, probably not.
Philly will
But
be fine.
you got pretty pretty solid defensive effort from Brooklyn there, only holding them to 17. There's 2 minutes 45 seconds left in the first. Brooklyn hasn't been able to defend this year. That's why they're 4-4. And the Sixers have looked phenomenal.
Yep.
So, anyway, yeah, that's gonna wrap up the stream. We will have we'll have the post game show later tonight. Yep, looking forward to it. Make sure to catch us right after the game over here, or not over here, over on the main channel, Blazers Up Res, because we will be live about 5 minutes after. I have to whip up the graphics. If we lose, I probably won't whip up the player graphics because I don't know, I won't feel like it, and I don't know, like. I plan on doing it for mostly every game, but for last game, I didn't even want to focus on individual players, and we didn't, so there's really no point. But yeah, so it should be live about 5 to 10 minutes after the game or so. I don't know how long it takes me. I kind of just focus on that and go live, so I don't know how long it actually takes. Other than that, hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at ToryJonesYT for me, at HoopShock for Eric, at BlazersUprisYT for the channel. I will be live tweeting tonight like always. And yeah, you can find me over on the Twitter. This outro kind of sucks, so I'm just going to wrap things up. I'll catch you guys later. Hope you have a good rest of your Thursday. We'll see you later tonight. Until then, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.